Arsenal have reached an agreement to sign Victor Ozhianvuna. I really hope I've pronounced that correctly. This is a 16-year-old from Shamrock Rovers, and David Ornstein came in with the exclusive on it with Gunnerblog and Dan McDonnell. Okay, look, I'm no expert on the player. I've got some people on Twitter who are, so we'll go through a little bit of what they've said. I've got some thoughts around Arsenal signing younger players. When you look at Max Dowman coming on at 15, and I know he's a really incredible talent, you do start to realise with Wanera and lewis-skelly getting their opportunities at 17, that 16, if you are the right talent, is not too young to start kind of talking about, well, why are we making this signing? What is the point? What's the expectation? We'll try to understand a little bit about this player in this video. But I want to talk about Arsenal and their recruitment strategy in general and the use of the academy in general. This is what David Ornstein had to say. The Arsenal have reached an agreement for Shamrock Rovers 16-year-old Victor Ozhianvuna. Again, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Let me know in the comment section below if I haven't. He says, deal not signed, but now in place and worth an Ireland record fee. Shamrock Rovers midfielder will join Arsenal on a pre-contract and arrive in January 2027. So, we're not going to see him for a little while, 18 months at best. His birthday is the 10th of January, so 16, so he'll turn 17 January 2026. So he'll be 18 pretty much when he's coming to Arsenal. So, okay, that makes some sense. I imagine he'll therefore be playing about another season and a half of football for Shamrock Rovers. What do you know about him? Like I said, he's 16, born in Dublin, wears the number 36 shirt for Shamrock Rovers. He's represented Ireland at under 15s and under 17s level. I think that's 9 appearances with the 15s and 4 with the 17 level. And I'm just having a look at what people are saying online. Bear with me one sec. Next generation Arsenal, who of course knows a lot, if not everything, when it comes to Arsenal Academy, youth players in the world of Arsenal, said that he's a very explosive player. He's an attacking midfielder, capable of playing wide too. He's still developing physically, already looks comfortable in senior football. Arsenal have tracked Victor for a long time and have made the right move to secure him early. So there seems to be a lot of hype around him. But those are some of the details. Attacking midfielder, seems very technical, could play out wide too, 16 years old, joining pretty much as he turns 18. And we will see how things. I mean, the thing is, things can change so drastically in football in 18 months. So really interesting to see how much Arsenal see this as signing a really top young potential player, or whether this is a case of bringing in someone who's got exciting potential. They think they can nurture him, develop him right, and maybe get an even bigger fee and actually kind of use the youth system in a way to benefit the club a little bit more. I don't think that's something we don't do well enough. I don't think we're very good at collecting fees for our players, the likes of Koja Dubry, for example, who's left over recent years. Look at what Amari Hutchinson just went for, I think he went to Chelsea for basically nothing, didn't he? Ended up at Ipswich and now has gone to, there's a fly next to me. Where's he gone to? Forest. Forest have just spent like 37 million on Amari Hutchinson. And this is like, come on. Like, has this stock gone up that much since he was at Arsenal? Because there's a lot of excitement around the player and we couldn't recollect anything from him. That's the kind of thing I think Arsenal need to get better at. Then they need to learn to cut ties early if they can and get potential significant fees for these players. I think Man City and Chelsea do it brilliantly. I think Liverpool do it quite well too. Look at Ben Doak recently leaving for around £22 million, so I think Bournemouth. But if this is a player with real significant potential that we can develop, then great. It's a right-footed attacking midfielder / wide type profile. I think it's hard to know what Arsenal need in the 27 or 26-27 season. We're just starting 25-26, knowing he's probably not going to play a bigger part till 27-28. How do we know what the squad needs then? Because when you look at the needs of this summer, it was so different to the needs of just a summer ago. So I don't know how excited we can get about the potential, but I do think we can. And look, by the way, if you watch him loads, maybe you can absolutely get excited by the potential. Maybe there's something to do with Ben Matheson here, actually. I was looking for some tweets, but I couldn't find any. So if there is a thread, let me know, and I'll post it. I'll pin it in the top of the comments if I find a Ben Matheson. thread on the player. But I don't, in fact, now's maybe probably a good time just to very quickly go on his profile and check that he hasn't maybe retweeted something. Obviously, Ben Mattinson was doing Transfers Explained with me. Yeah, I can't see anything. So I just think, I keep saying I'd like Arsenal to get smarter when it comes to recruiting young, ensuring that we maintain a value, whether that's the loan system, whether that's giving some opportunities in the first team. And look, we seem to give opportunity in the first team with, Dauman, Waneri, Lewis-Skelly, but we've done it because they are elite talents who deserve their place in the team. Do you get what I mean? It's not like we've seen kind of others get the odd minutes here and there. No, they're probably not quite going to make it, but at least we're driving up their stocks. So one thing I think Arsenal do, quite poorly, and the loan market we don't necessarily do well in. So you've got players like Cavia, Walters went for nothing, Kukuri, like players like this, young players that are just going to kind of leave for very, very little when there was actually something of significant potential there at one point and some decent fees we could have recouped. Selling on, in general, is something Arsenal don't do very well. Our buying this summer, very, very happy with it. On the selling front, not quite good enough. Not really much more to say, guys. I mean, that's pretty much it. We'll wait and see. I've got to say, Sver Nipan and that pursuit very recently suggests that Arsenal are trying to look at getting kind of younger players in, that whether they're ready to contribute immediately or in the coming year or two. It does feel like they're trying to get ahead a little bit more with these kinds of signings where there's a lot of potential, a lot of excitement. I can't sit here and say to you, wow, we've signed the next, the next Waneri. Like, I don't know that we have done that. But I know that we've signed a player who there was kind of a lot of talk, a lot of excitement. It's been pursued for a little while by Arsenal. And like I said, we're trying to bring in players. And I think, wasn't there a goalkeeper from Chelsea? I think there was a goalkeeper from Chelsea that we were trying to sign. Again, as part of like the youth setup. Look at Tommy Setford. We picked him up very recently as an 18-year-old. He's now the world number 3, tennis lingo. He's now Arsenal's number 3. But, will he get a couple loans in the coming years? Keep playing a little bit from the academy and stuff like that. And then does he become Arsenal's number 1 in the coming years because he's good enough? Tall guy, by the way. I saw him on tour. He's very tall. Or does he go for a 15, 20 million pounds, having signed him for a couple million only a year ago? That's the kind of thing I'd like to see Arsenal do a lot more of. And I do think other clubs have done it a lot better. And when they haven't, kept on to these players, they've at least sold them for good fees. Let's see. Anyway, Arsenal signed another player, Victor Ozhianvuna. Congrats to him, by the way, a record fee in Ireland. So that's really great for Irish football. It's great for him and his family. Congrats to them. Welcome to Arsenal. And it goes without saying that for all I've talked about, the youth system, the loan system, all that, I fundamentally hope we have signed a top talent who is going to come and play a lot of football for us. Wouldn't that be great? But we won't know till January 2027. But I imagine everyone will be keeping a very, very close eye on how he does and sort of see if there's any highlights we can get excited about. All right, everyone, I'll leave it there. Another signing. What a window. Catch you in a bit.